was like, I am 100% moving to LA.
Wow,
Yeah, like
wow.
that was it.
Wow. I mean, quite an ambassador to get you. Most people don't have Keanu Reeves usher them in with a steak. Welcome to What's My Thesis. I'm Javier Proenza, and today my guest is Kelly Witmer. Kelly, you just drove out from Joshua Tree, so I really appreciate that. I know that you have lodgings here as well, but that is still a pretty long trek, especially for you're not coming fresh off of a short drive. You've been driving for 2 hours. Have you been thinking about what you're going to say?
I was binging a bunch of your some recent episodes. So,
which ones?
So now I've been listening to you already for hours.
maybe you're tired of my voice at this point. You might have a breakdown.
No, that's okay. You've got a good voice for this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always start with the intro, with the beginnings of everything. So like where you make sculpture, mostly from what I see from your Instagram account. I do want to talk to you about Instagram because you do have a lot of followers, and you started to break it down. And I was like, wait, let's save it. So let me not forget that, or if I forget it, please try to remember. But one of the things I think is interesting about your process, I don't know if this is like a main feature, but one thing I've noticed is like the melting of glass in a kiln so that it kind of droops through orifices.
Yeah,
maybe.
They are.
Okay. Holes. That's, wow. Is there like a less vulgar word for that?
No, I was just working on a statement yesterday, and I was like, yeah, I'm making holes and filling them. I know this sounds bad, but yeah, that's a lot of what
you're doing now.
Yeah, but I do a lot of different stuff. So.
Yeah. No, I know. It's just the current thing that you're on right now. I don't mean it's like you've made a years-long career, decades.
No, it's my pony trick for sure.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't mean to frame it like that.
No, I'm not saying that you did, but I kind of feel that way. And
what is the attraction to that? Because it's not uncommon for artists to be obsessed with doing a certain thing over and over again. Like, I mean,
yeah,
I can relate to that. So like, what is it specifically about that? And then maybe we can get into like more your upbringing and stuff like that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, glass is just, it's a really cool medium. You know, I started playing around with it like a lot over 20 years ago. And got a little kiln that I was kind of playing around and fusing glass, and which is, and I kind of, reached a point where I didn't know what else I could do with it, and it sort of sat aside. And I just really had an idea for a light. I had an ugly ceiling light fixture at my place in Joshua Tree, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make another. I just had this idea of like melting glass, making this fixture and melting glass into it. I had some glass around. I tried it out. It worked. Mm-hmm. And then, cause I had kind of asked around, maybe, I don't know. I can't really remember. So anyway, so I made that, and then I was kind of improving. Then I was like, well, what if I put it on the wall? And then that's where it really kind of made sense for me, because I was used to, I'd studied photography, and then I was painting for a long time. So I was really more 2D, and putting it on the wall, just, I don't know. Yeah. And so then this particular process, like when I did it small the first time, it was weird. The light fixture worked. And then I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to make this and this and this. And then they just kept breaking. And so it was a lot of experimentation till I kind of figured out like what was causing the glass to break and how to get around it. And then it's just, I don't know, there's just like just so many things I could do with it.
Yeah. How did you start working with kilns? Were you art ceramics first? Cause you said, that's actually surprising that you described yourself. Let's do the whole, are you from California?
No, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Is that an accent that I heard there? That was Pennsylvania.
Well, yeah, I don't even know what
Is there a Pennsylvania accent?
I think there is, but I wouldn't know. It kind of depends on where, but also my mom's side of the family is from North Carolina. I spent some time in South Carolina, so I don't know. I guess there's like a weird. I got a weird accent.
I thought it was lovely.
Thank you. Thanks.
I just don't know that area very much, and it has like its own mythos because of the Amish, right? Like that.
Actually, my dad's family is Mennonites.
Okay.
Which I call Amish light.
What's a Mennonite? This is my wheelhouse.
Or diet Amish. It's very similar, but like they they wear the plain clothes. They can drive cars, but they can't be fancy.
Okay. So what, they all drive like Geo Metros?
I think they would like paint all the chrome would be painted matte black. I could be wrong. I don't.
They were the first to murder out cars.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. Well. And then then like art. How does that come in? You're in Pennsylvania. You're a kid. You're like, hey, Dad, what's a Mennonite? And then like, where does early experiences with art that you look back on and you're like,
And actually, well, my dad's family, they had left the Mennonite church like long before when he was a kid. So they were kind of like ex-Mennonites anyway. But yeah, I was born like in Lancaster, which is like his full on Amish area. And then lived in Middletown.
Lancaster?
Yeah.
I've interviewed someone that lives there now. Not that you know him, but anyway, Matthew John Apel. No. I'm actually surprised that I know of an art scene, like of all the, because
there's an art scene in Lancaster.
Yeah, he's a painter out there, so that's funny. I do. There is some art there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Then lived in Gettysburg and went to art school in Philadelphia.
How was that? What school?
University of the Arts, which actually just went out of business last year.
Don't worry, there's a lot of people.
Just strange.
There's a lot of people that are in that. What's it called? There's the School of the Art Institute. That's the Chicago one, right? What's the one in San Francisco?
Oh gosh.
SFAI or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That a lot of people, I'm like, God damn, that's gotta suck.
Yeah.
Although I kind of wish my school would shut down.
Yeah, I mean, they were doing nothing for me. They never did, except like ask for money after I left, which is
really, like, you didn't like your program?
It was all right. I mean, but for the, I don't know. I don't know if I would do it again, but I learned from it. So
I get the feeling that you don't like to speak ill of things and people, and so I'm going to refrain from framing questions like that for you to make you feel comfortable. Because I was like, oh, tell me all about your hatred for the school. And you're like,
That's okay. I mean, it's not really a hatred, but I felt like, I was like 4 years, it got me nowhere, as far as my career, like, which is strange. You would think that you spend 4 years and a criminal amount of money and time that it would like put you somewhere. But when I was in high school, I had lots of jobs in high school. The last one was at McDonald's, and then after I graduated from college, the best job I could get was at a 1 hour photo place.
Nice.
Where I was also making minimum wage. And I had to ask, whenever I'd ring up people, I had to say, do you want more film with that?
Oh, wow.
Which is just like the fries.
Yeah,
and that's what I was just like, this is...
If I saw that in a movie, I would think that's too on the nose.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That really is like, if I literally saw that, I would be like, nah, too much.
Yeah. But
you're trying too hard, but that is fucking cringe.
Yeah. And I was just like, this is... It just felt kind of pointless. And yeah, see, now I have, back then, kind of like, as far as getting a master's degree, like, once I got, I was just like, 4 years got me nowhere. Why am I going to throw more money at this?
Yeah.
And back then it was really kind of like, if you would get a master's if you wanted to teach. And I didn't really it wasn't really a goal of mine. So it wasn't something I went after. And,
yeah. Same here.
And then a bunch of time passed, and now it's just like, it feels, I have this sort of embarrassment. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but I feel like I'm less than because I don't have
Really?
the MFA.
I can relate to that because I started this podcast to get over that shit. And
Really?
now I really don't think about it because I talk to MFAs all the time. I've talked to enough people that didn't even get their BFA that are doing amazing in the art world.
Yeah.
You know, that is like, it's it's mostly internal, you know, and I figure if people like an eraser just fell down. I think if there's such an art podcast, now I'm like there's tension that the other one because there's one next to it. I don't think that one's gonna slip. I think they were precariously. One was sitting on top of the other one with not a lot of grip, but yeah, I think that I think that that's a common sense, but are you still in debt from the BFA? I mean, if that's a financial question, I apologize. Okay,
no.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I know people that have done school for free, and that's amazing. If you can do that, that's ideal.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I'm that good of an artist to begin with, you know, so.
Yeah.
Or that good to an institution, you know, like, because you kind of have to fit a specific lens. I feel like when I went to school, people didn't want you to make products, you know, which is something that I'm kind of like, yeah, but you guys have like jobs.
Yeah.
You know, so it's crazy. But so okay, did I miss, like, what were your first experiences with art? Did you mention that and I missed it? Or like what was art for you as a kid, like in this ex-Mennonite family? To me, Mennonite, I've been like listening to a lot of stuff about Mormons. This is ex-Mormon that has a YouTube channel, and I just listened to her talk about it. And Mennonites, like all these, like it's Amish American in origin and all of that. Like those are very Americanized kind of sounding words. They sound like big Mennonite. You know, they don't sound like classical biblical to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Paul. I mean, the Book of Enoch, Metatron, but that's not even biblical. I don't know. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you may not know a lot about religion. It's just the rabbit hole I've been getting into.
Yeah, I mean, no, I wouldn't say I know a ton, but
yeah.
But
your experiences
childhood,
with arts?
Yeah, I was always drawing, and you know,
like sketchbook. What kind of stuff did you like to draw? Cartoons from life.
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was like, you know, horses and shit like that. You know, I don't really.
It sounds about right for Pennsylvania. I'm not laughing at you because of the horse girl thing.
No,
I'm like, there's horses around, probably, right?
Well, I mean, I thought that's like a girl thing that girls are always into horses. Well, you were talking about white women. Maybe that's a white woman thing. I don't know.
I mean, maybe Native women who had access to horses before the whites came also fantasize about horses. But I think access has become a major issue there.
Well, I never like really had access. I like went to Girl Scout camp once where I got to ride horses, and you know, it was just like I fantasized about whatever.
By the way, I've ridden horses.
Huh?
I've ridden horses.
Yeah, I have too, you know, and actually when I first moved out to Joshua Tree, I went on like some horseback ride, and first like half hour, I was like, oh man, this is awesome. I'm totally going to get a horse, and this is how I'm going to live. And like, you know, 45 minutes in, the pain of riding that horse, it was killing me. I was like, get me off this thing. And then, and actually, when I moved out there, because my place had a corral, and like a cinder block barn type thing.
Your parents' house growing up?
No, my house in Joshua Tree.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm jumping light years ahead.
Yeah.
But
I know about the place in Joshua Tree, so I just the audience might not.
Yeah. Okay, so I live there mostly now. Yeah, we mentioned that before. Anyway, got the place like 12 years ago. It was a wreck of a place.
So this wasn't an Airbnb 2020 purchase.
Oh no, it was like during the financial crisis. My house was $35,000.
Yeah.
and that, it's like the cost of a car.
Yeah.
Like I've never spent that much on a car, but people do. And it was on an acre, a big house. It needed a ton of work. But it was like a bank short sale. Somebody had walked away from it, whatever. So it was pretty trashed. But it had this corral, is my point. And so there was a woman down the road who had just gotten a donkey, and I was like, oh, I love this donkey. And she's like, there's 2 more that need a home. And I was like, well, I've got the corral. And so I got these 2 donkeys, and and I thought I could ride them too. Like I mean,
they're pack mules, no? Or
yeah. I mean, when I had the vet come, I was like, I can ride them, right? And she was like, well, yeah, but why would you want to? And I was like, what? Like, it was kind of like this horse donkey snobbery.
So you became a donkey girl.
I didn't last.
Well, but I mean, that's just so funny. Like, imagine the idea as a kid being like, pony. Yes.
Yeah. Pony.
That's sexy.
Yeah. I don't know. Donkeys have character. I love their big ears, and but that noise they make, it gets old. And they
make it a lot.
Yeah.
It's for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like chicken. It was roosters that
they could hear me. Like if I got a call in the morning, if I started talking on the phone, they would hear me and start. I won't do it, but they would start like making that noise and stuff.
That's intense.
Yeah. But yeah. How did I?
We were talking.
I was talking about drawing cartoons of horses.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I lived out my dream. I got some donkeys. I tried it out. It was like, yeah. But then I found them another home.
That's amazing though.
Realized.
I mean, I would love to do that, especially buying a place for 35,000. You could definitely have money over for for feed at least.
Yeah. That's like, I'm sorry, that's tacky to say that, but like, this is how much I spent on my house. But,
no.
But I just mean, to like, let you know, like,
you're not rolling
like,
it. Yeah.
It was, and people are always like, well, what brought you to Joshua Tree? I'm like, it was cheap.
Oh yeah, I love Joshua Tree. Joshua Tree is the most Florida place in like that's where you meet the people that want to be just left the fuck alone, and I love that.
Yeah,
it's like, oh man,
yeah,
the power of just being like, like, because you'll be sitting there, you'll be talking to them, they're just normal, like they seem like normal people, like they would be from California. But then once they start talking about why they like living there, you're like, oh shit, this was in 29 Palms. This is not Joshua. That's maybe even more hardcore.
It's kind of, yeah. And I'm in Yucca, so technically I'm not in the Alight Joshua Tree area. But I'm
is there snobbery towards like by that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's even like what side of the freeway you're on, or at least it used to be. And then it just kind of turned, I don't know, like I said, 12 years ago, it was a different place.
Yeah.
People were like, why are you moving out there? And now it's like, ooh, you're so lucky.
My friend did a music performance, but it was like it was in the context of art in this building that has like these like things hanging from it in 29 Palms. It's like, it's air conditioned kind of, it's almost like a hangar, but like the old school, like cartoony ones that are like, they're like a sliced bread bun, but shaped like that, but without being sliced. Yeah. Okay. There you go. And it has like all these like metal pieces hanging from it. I forget. Anyway, so he did a performance there, and it was just really interesting to sort of see like, because that was an event for that community. It's like in the middle of nowhere and everybody was doing it. It was interesting to see a small town community like that experience an art thing and then have a cultural discussion on it, it was really cool. And I mean, they loved it. They were like talking about what they were thinking about, because like I think they had them set up looking outside towards the desert as he played. So nice. It was, I mean, there's cool stuff going on out there.
Yeah.
I don't despair. I've had lovely times out there, and they're really receptive, to experiences, and it seems like since there's not a lot to do, everybody knows about the last thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's now there's like Airbnbs all around me, except for like one holdout couple, and he like shoots at crows and stuff.
I like him.
Yeah.
That's why he's out there.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so then you go to this school, you didn't have the do you feel like you took anything out of the education itself aside from it? Like, did you like was it very technical? Was it where did you feel, what did you feel you did get out of it? Because I had a similar experience where I was like, you know, the best thing that I got out of it is that I wasn't at work.
That what?
That I wasn't at a job, you know?
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
was, you know, that you got to not have a fucking job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely learned from it. I mean, and I was a photography major.
Me too.
And I mean, but it was probably like that was kind of right as Photoshop was kind of coming on the scene, and yeah. So it was a strange time for photography, and yeah, as far as technical, I mean, like that part you can learn pretty quickly. But then, I mean, and it was very...
Photography is a little trickier, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you can learn some things. Like, I think you can learn acrylic painting with YouTube and shit now.
Yeah.
And all of that. But I think that digital photography, but the chemical side of it, color correcting with your eyes, I miss that.
Yeah.
I'm like, why can't I get a bulb like that they had in that room? You know, where they would for people that aren't as old as me, we had a cork board that you would just pin your photographs onto and then look at them and compare them to your last print and stuff like that. And I would get really annoyed because my teachers would be expecting the like photography students to teach the elective kids. So I was like color correcting for everybody.
Oh, that's...
Yeah,
that's
and so
weird.
I would wear headphones, and then my teacher was like, he's so antisocial. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well,
So you were in that era?
yeah. I kind of liked color correcting too. And the darkroom stuff. But I moved to LA like not long after I graduated, and
Can I ask you what year that was?
It was 94.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Long. So it's been 30 years now.
Wow.
In LA.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy. I mean, LA was so different back then.
I bet. I watched John Carpenter movies, and I'm like I watched, I said this on the podcast before, I watched the Obey one. What is it called? They Live?
What?
They Live? It's it's basically they show LA. It takes place in LA, but it's like it's so long ago that like there's no downtown. Like all those buildings are not there. Like by an alarming amount.
Huh. Oh, yeah, that would be interesting to see. I was actually going to move to... I had plans to move to Miami.
Oh, okay.
Because I just wanted to go somewhere warm, because I had lived in Philadelphia and we had this really bad winter and where it's like 5 feet of snow. And then it finally occurred to me, like, there's nothing holding me here. I could go anywhere. I'm going to go somewhere warm. So I'm saving up to go to Miami. And I met this guy in a bar who's from LA, and he was just like, oh, don't go to Miami. There's like bugs there. You should go to LA.
He's not wrong.
And I was like, really? You know, and then he was like, yeah, you can come out and visit me and check it out, which I did. And like first he was like, he invited me to go stay at his place. He said, he was like, I'm staying at my friend Keanu's place in New York. He's like, come on up. It's this, you know, it's in this cool neighborhood. So I go and there's a Polaroid on the refrigerator of Keanu Reeves. I was like, who's that? And he's like, the guy who owns this place. I'm like, what?
He just got married. Or he got engaged? I don't know. With Alexa Grant. It's art related because she's an artist. Yeah,
I mean, I've seen photos of them, but
I just saw it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I cut your flow.
He's cool. He had this, so we stayed at his place, and then this guy Joe that I met in the bar, who was friends with him, I don't know if they were I don't know what anyway, I came out to LA, I stayed at his place, we went and we met Keanu, we went to like, Keanu was in this like...
Is this before...
ice hockey?
Is this...
Oh, it's like, right, it was like around Speed.
Okay.
You know, like, he was pretty popular.
That was when he was popping.
Yeah, I mean... He wasn't he was like a really big star at the time. Yeah. And he was like, and a big group of us went out to dinner, and he was like, he said, so Kelly, are you
this
in...
is Keanu?
Yeah. He goes, are you in LA for business or pleasure? And I was like, oh, you know, and it was a place called Jones. It's still there. It's like in Hollywood. It was like this kind of, I don't know. For me at the time, it was expensive and I didn't have much money, so I hadn't ordered food. And he was having this big steak, and I think he saw me looking at it, right? And he goes, Kelly, you want a bite of the steak? And I was like, yeah. And he like freaking cut a bite for me and handed it to me across the table. And I was like, I am 100% moving to LA.
Wow,
yeah, like
wow.
that was it.
Wow.
So I'm like, sometimes.
I mean, quite an ambassador to get you. Most people don't have Keanu Reeves usher them in with a steak.
Yeah. Cutting it for me and everything. So.
And how amazing that man has not ruined his career so that you don't want to tell that story.
Yeah, right? There was a time, you know.
It could have been James Franco. Never telling that again. Or it has a different spin to it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, sometimes I think like, what would my life have been like if I had just gone to Miami?
It would have been swampy. One of the I still love Miami, but one of the things that gets to me is just the flooding. You know, it happens.
And the mold.
Well, mold you can kind of avoid, you know, but like there's sometimes you're in traffic and you kind of have no choice but to drive through it, and or you know, sometimes and you just don't have like. You can't back up, you know, and so things like that are pretty not cool. But their taxes are all right.
Oh, well, I guess that's something. Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna go spend some time there.
It's nice.
Maybe I'll make the move.
Yeah. So how have you acclimated to being a desert person? Because that's definitely a very specific thing out here.
I prefer warm weather, so you know, of course the suburbs are pretty bad, but I have swamp coolers and
you get by on swamp coolers.
I thrive on swamp coolers.
Jeez,
I'm like I should
you're
sell
from
them.
The bayou.
They're not. I mean, I think they're really great. I mean, they can.
I'm from Miami, so I can't do anything less
But
than
then
AC.
but then of course I'm happy with it. Like I'll set the swamp cooler at like 80 degrees or something. So
so you can handle some heat.
I guess.
Yeah.
You know, it's because it's high desert, so it actually gets really it's too cold for me in the winter.
Well, let's get a little bit back into art because I wanted to ask you more about what that transition from. Because it sounds like you were doing photography, and then you mentioned that you did more drawing when you were a kid, and maybe some painting along the way. So where was the painting? Where that came after school?
Yeah, it was actually because when I moved out here, I brought all my darkroom stuff. I had a darkroom in my closet for a while, and then you know I was like rinsing them in the bathtub, and then I was just like, why am I doing this?
You're a generation of photographer ahead of me, I think.
Yeah.
Because that by then you mentioned that like photography was, or that Photoshop for us it was digital, like, and I was on that precipice of it no longer being a thing that you could get printed cheaply. I have rolls of film that I never developed because it was just like so fucking expensive, and I regret it because now they're ruined, but I can't throw them away. But
it might not be
their color, so the colors are shifted pretty bad. I didn't keep them in a fridge. I do all the things that I was supposed to.
Just develop one, see what happens.
I've done it.
And it sucked?
Yeah. I mean, I might develop all of them, and some of it's slide film, so we'll see. It's definitely worth it, but I need to... There's so many things I want to spend art funds on before that, you know, and podcasting and shit like that. So...
Anyway, yeah, so I started painting, basically, because of all that. You know, I was just... So I, like... and actually, I think I moved, so I did not have that closet. I didn't have the option anymore, and so
it was it black and white. You had the red light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not
so I had
complete darkness. That was the fun one with color.
Yeah.
You had to be in complete darkness.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked those little rooms. My school had like all the little rooms we could go in and stuff. So I started started painting mostly out of convenience.
And what kind of photography were you doing? Documentary style, artists using photography? What kind of?
I mean, a little. No, it was really more. It was experimental. Where I was like sandwiching black and white and color negatives, and printing them in color, and it was kind of interesting. Like the
What? How does the negative black and white negative appear? Does it have a tint to it?
It depended, but usually there'd be a little bit of a tint. But basically, let's see if I can remember. It's like the dark areas of the black and white negative would then pick up bits of the color. So it'd have like kind of portraits and figures in the black and white, and then I had like these. I would sandwich the color negatives were like trees and plants and that kind of thing. I don't know. And then lots of playing with chemicals with the black and white and
solarizing and stuff, or not that specific.
A little bit, but mostly like just different toners and bleach and trying.
This is like a lost. We're speaking Latin to a bunch of kids right now.
Yeah, maybe it's
no. I'm having fun doing it. I'm like, these are words that I'm never gonna use anywhere else.
Well, and it wasn't. It wasn't like ironic or like old school then. It was just like
because in the tradition of photo montage and that kind of thing. Even though you're not photo montaging on the print, you're doing it with the negatives.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was really just before Photoshop, so it's like I couldn't do those things. But then Photoshop comes along, and it's like, well,
what year
now
did that come out? Do you know?
I don't know.
Around the early 90s, is that?
Yeah.
Because that's as far back as I remember it, but I didn't know if it had existed
Yeah, I
before.
mean, I think it was a slow, but the other people were like making all this crazy stuff on Photoshop, and I was just like, I don't know. It just, I just got kind of disillusioned with the whole thing. Because I was like, so I was like, there was... I'm thinking this out as I'm talking, but I guess I was kind of exploring things, and then I felt like there wasn't any point. There wasn't any more to explore now, because now you could do anything. So
yeah.
Anyway, so.
and it wasn't the same. Like people could be like, well, if you can do these things now with these tools, like why not just do it better with these tools? And it's like, it's not what I liked about it. It was the process of the thing that I liked. There is a huge difference between sitting on Photoshop and layering stuff versus shining light through celluloid.
Sure.
It's celluloid, right? That's what film is. It's been that long, I totally get that. I also, once it got digital, photography was less interesting to me. Just sitting at a computer is not as much fun as like being in a dark room, like I don't know. I just think that that's an interesting thing. I relate a lot to you because that's what I studied in school. And I also was kind of like, maybe it's because we studied it dead hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Underwater basket weaving.
Yeah, essentially. In terms of like the art degrees, it was the one that was like falling out. And what's ironic is that I was dating someone at the time, and I was like, what am I going to study? And they were like, photography.
Yeah.
It's the most practical one. You can get a job. I was like, it's just world has changed so much since then.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. That's what I thought. That was kind of my reason too. I was also really into printmaking and stuff like that. So, but I thought the photography would get me a job, which it didn't. And when I moved to LA, I thought, oh, well, I can do headshots, because I was actually doing some headshots in Philadelphia. Like, I had a little studio in my basement, and I never shot a single headshot in LA. It just seemed they had it covered.
Yeah. No, there was definitely people that knew.
Yeah.
And people that maybe weren't artist photographers, just people that were like good hustlers, which is what puts you at a disadvantage in those places. Yeah. So then, okay, so painting and photography, what were you doing with painting? Like, what was the main, because it sounds like, do you have, like, you're working with the motif now of the drippy glass through the stuff, through the holes in the clay, right? It's clay, right? Yeah. So those are the motifs. What are the themes? What are the broader concepts that you're interested in? I find glass is such an interesting material. It has like a lot of traditions. So does ceramics. Are you coming from a generation where your BFA was less conceptual, or have you started adopting that because it kind of has just become the broader thing? Like what was your education like? What is it? What are we doing now? And all of that.
Well, my education was it was very conceptual for being photography. It was really more so there wasn't a lot of like skill or business. None of that was.
It was
taught
not
to me.
technical, yeah.
But it was so long ago. So really, like I mean, as far as painting, for many years I was painting from found photographs and doing kind of things like that. And I gradually started.
Did you ever do live painting in school? Did you ever take any painting classes?
Yeah, I had to do all that.
So you had painted from live reference as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was taking painting classes and stuff in high school actually, because I was taking some college classes, which I did to get out of high school. I don't know. And I took like printmaking and stuff like that. So now what I'm working on, like I said, I'm kind of jumping around. I used to work in more figurative work. I kind of gradually started moving towards abstraction. And that's kind of been where mostly what I've been doing for a long time now. I'm not even sure, maybe even a decade. I don't know. And lately I've been kind of going a little bit back into almost figurative. I would make these ceramic sculptures. A lot of times I would see faces in them, which kind of bothered me, and I'd like turn them around and change them, like, get the face away. Because they're like,
that's the obnoxious thing about abstraction for me too. You know, when it's like, oh, this looks too much like something.
Yeah. But then
wrong thing.
But I'm starting to kind of embrace it now, and like when some things kind of like just sort of hint at a face or a figure, and I've gotten really obsessed with like looking at all, sort of my starting point is museum collections and stuff, either where I've taken photos in person, but more likely it's images I found online or in books. And I'll kind of sketch, I'll like do sketches of them, and then I'll kind of do sketches of the sketches or do watercolors of them later, and then kind of use those as a basis for the sculpture. So it's kind of going, and then I'll have kind of a plan with the sculpture.
Is there anything lost in the? Because I don't see
there's
too
a ton
much.
Lost.
Okay, I don't see too much. So it's like you're drawing, but it's like a copy of a copy to use the Xerox. I also got really into Xerox.
Me
that was
too.
one of my. I could tell.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We have a similar.
Yeah.
Similar trajectory, different outcomes, but sorry. Go ahead. So I didn't finish my point. You're making a copy of a copy, and through that there's but you're sketching it out, and through that there's I guess essentially what it is like when you sketch, you're reducing information to the essentials, right? Like when you make a drawing, you're taking the world, you have all this information, and maybe you make it with shading, right? Maybe you make a tonal drawing, and that's how you encode the information, or maybe you make it with lines. I would say that if you start making it a linear drawing, then you're also you're reducing. It's a copy of a copy, and there's degradation on the information there, right? The original information has been codified into a simpler version, and then you're going through that process again, and you're simplifying it even more from there till something is lost. Because I'm not seeing the figurative stuff, not in a negative way. But from what is that correct?
Well, it may not be. It depends on the piece.
Okay.
It's really kind of sometimes they're not figurative at all.
Okay.
But then like I said, sometimes I start to see faces or figures in them, and that's so.
And that's when you start to lean in it, as opposed to before you used to try to get away from that.
Yeah. And like I said, with the different steps, it does kind of become something else.
Is the end outcome an intuitive experience, or is there, like, not that it's like a political messaging, sometimes just the repetition, like for me, there, like with this stuff that I'm working on now, it's very simple. The repetition, there's not like necessarily meaning, but there's a hypnoticness to it, right? It's an intuitive absorbing of the information. Is that what you're after with your work, or do you want people to take something away more literally? Like I had teachers explain this to me, and I to a large degree I agree with it. Is that like art essentially is a form of communication, and one of its advantages is that it can communicate things that aren't necessarily verbal, that are intuitive and stuff. Is that what you're looking for, or are you looking for more of an explicit reading of what you're working on?
Oh no, I really just kind of like people to take, I don't want to. I don't know.
Who would be some influences that kind of do that achieve the end outcome? Does that make sense? Like not like for me, I'm not anywhere near Stella, but I think that the stuff that I'm doing now, especially now that I'm taking them into from flat 2D drawings into 3-dimensional panels.
I didn't.
Oh, it's behind you. It's not done, but but with that, I'm definitely thinking about like its dimensionalness, right?
Yeah.
And so like I guess how I would verbalize it is that it's op art. Obviously, I feel like that kind of takes away, like undercuts it a little bit though, because it's not, the point is not to make op art. The point is for the experience that op art can facilitate, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
is there a way that you can like maybe verbalize, because there's something to that, like especially in the materiality of this stuff, right? Like the drooping glass, there's an implication of heat there, there's smoothness there, there's transparency. Talk to me a little bit about those decisions, and I know that glass, like I know we talked a little bit about how you ended up with glass, but I'm interested in sort of like what the materiality of it after working with the materials, like what that has come to mean to you, what it is as a material. I've seen like there's Murano glass from Venice that's like very, very highly valued and stuff like that, right? But then you go and you see what they make, and a lot of it is just like little trinkets,
Yeah.
little figurines, that aren't really like worth, like it's this sublime material, and then like they make tourist trinkets with it. So I find that materiality of it, very interesting, where it's like some of the trinkets that are made are considered high art, but it's like, does that make sense?
Kinda. I think so. There was a lot of stuff there. And I like, now I can't remember what the original
glass
question was, but something, but as far as, I guess what I like about the glass is because I'm doing it in the kiln. So it's all kind of secret. And I think it has sort of a connection with photography in the same way that there's this surprise, when it's like developing something. Cause actually one of the, I don't know if this made me get into photography, but like in Jaws, where they like found I don't know if you remember, they found this camera, and then they were developing the film, and they like had this darkroom scene where they're like, they like, and it's like in the tray. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
Great.
I gotta look it up and send it to you. But they're like developing it, and there's like an eye and like some teeth of the shark or something, and it was just like, it was like the last photo this guy took, before Jaws killed him or ate him completely. I don't know. I'm getting off track again, but yeah, it's
that's
like,
what you like photography.
So it's kind of, but the glass, like, I don't know, like at this point, like I have an idea what it's going to do, and I have like what I hope it's going to do, but like sometimes it does something completely different, it just, cause I kind of, cause I'll kind of create these openings, and then I'm melting the glass through it, and the shape of it determines what the glass is going to do, but then also the temperature and the time, and then also the kind of glass, because all different glass like moves in different ways, and so yeah, there's like, I guess it's the a little bit of unexpected and like having, I don't know, having a little bit out of my control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting when you say that it does different things. Like what are the surprising things that it can do?
Well, when you do like longer exposures, you know.
I mean,
Anyway,
I think people understand.
Yeah, it'll just
Exposures to heat.
yeah, I've just been having them do like, sometimes it'll stretch out in weird ways, or you know, sometimes it'll you'll catch it in a drip where it's just frozen. I've been doing some of those recently.
Have you gotten really long stalagtite looking things?
I have. Usually when you do that, they get too thin and they break.
Yeah.
So
do they leave anything interesting that you could still use even though it's broken, or is it?
I've got like all kinds of broken glass all over the place in my house, but I'm, you know, what am I going to do?
But it's not like
it?
just the tip breaks and then like it just all shatters.
Oh, no. That's the thing. There'll be lots of like cool little pieces. So I've got lots of those. And sometimes like all of the glass will fall through.
Yeah.
And like, but I've had some recently where it hits the bottom of the kiln, but then like not completely. There's one that's like, you know, standing up like this high, and it's just like this folded piece of glass. And it's sort of like this frozen moment of time that you weren't there to see, but that you like.
Have you started playing with those at all, or is that something that's coming along the way, or is that like just not part of what you're interested in? It's just exciting to me to hear about the materials.
Yeah, no, I mean, I keep holding on to them and thinking, yeah, maybe I'll do something with this, but you know, they're
too good to throw away.
There are millions of things in my house that I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll do something with this. You know, it's like, no.
Yeah, but you're getting ready for the next thing once you get tired of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, like, so lately, they've, you know, they started getting kind of mask-like, and then I started kind of, you know, like I said, using drawings from, well, I just been really getting into prehistoric art and just like the earliest depictions that we know of
so like Lascaux
of humanity.
Like which ones in particular?
I mean, really all over. Like the Cycladic stuff in Greece is really creepy. Like there's these sculptures where they have noses and no faces, or there's a lot of like, you know, and the thing is like they can carbon date them and have an idea of how old they are, but they don't know really. It's just like guessing as far as because there's some that kind of look like they're almost like violins, but they're like very simplified female forms, you know, that were, you know, maybe fertility figures, maybe they were like, or maybe they were, they could have been dolls. I've read, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in Colorado. I drove through Utah I was teaching the whole glass thing at Anderson Ranch. And, when I went through Utah, I went to see like some of this rock art, and it was incredible. And,
so it's just like, really ancient stuff that has been sculpted out of rocks in Utah? Some
of it's carved, but actually I believe they're called pictographs that are painted, which is there's some that are called the barrier style, because I think
is this the stuff near Skinwalker Ranch or no? Is that we will know. That's a whole that's UFO related stuff, but there are pictographs involved where they think that like there's specific places there that they think that like natives would sing and perform and interact with like UFOs and stuff.
And what's it called?
Skinwalker Ranch. It's
Skidwalker?
Skinwalker Ranch. It's pretty famous. I don't want to I don't want to like derail it with my interests.
No. I'll have to look that up because I mean, some of these I was like, what is going on? These things are crazy. They were bigger than life size, and
it might be around that. You went to Basin, that area?
So, well, the ones that I really loved. Oh gosh, now I'm Sago Canyon.
Sago Canyon. Okay.
So it was off the 70. Anyway, it wasn't too far, but like it was crazy. Nobody was there. I was like, I don't know. I afraid I was. It was very creepy.
And how did you go? You just by yourself?
Yeah. And there there were some people. Oops, sorry.
You're fine.
There were some people there when I first drove up. And then they were, and like I go and there's like some like little kind of lame carvings. I mean, they weren't that exciting. I was like, wait, why did I come out here? I thought I read that there was some good stuff. And so they were leaving. I was like, is there more? And she's like, yeah, just go around the corner. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then they drive off, and it had been raining. So there was a bunch of mud that I had to pass to get through. So I was a little worried, like, hope I don't get stuck. Cause cause the phone wasn't working in these canyons and stuff. So then it was just like nobody. It's just like
that's terrifying. It's fucking scary out there at nighttime. Like I mean, also Florida, anywhere where you're entirely by yourself in the middle of fucking nowhere is terrifying.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. So with these like creepy ass like paintings that they've got like horns, so they're like holding snakes and stuff.
Well, the reason it's called Skinwalker is like there's some myth about like that the natives there believe about. I think it was like a curse that one tribe gave to another. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this because it's been a while, but one tribe gave a curse to another, and then that's when they started to be able to transform. But it was like a bad thing. So like people could. So that's what the Skinwalker is. It's like a shapeshifter.
Oh.
But it's one of those things where it's like one of those sort of. I mean, I'm not calling it a parable to dismiss the experience because there's fucking creepy shit that happens out there for sure. The U.S. government. So there's it's not boy. Deuce Bigelow. It's Bigelow from Bigelow Aeronautics, or what's Robert Bigelow. He's a rich guy that was an aeronautics guy. He owned that property for a really long time, and the U.S. government did crazy experiments over there because they couldn't really figure out what was going on. Oh, we lost the other eraser. I think I'm moving it, moving the ground. But all of that stuff, like there's some really creepy shit that happens out there so I would be terrified by myself. I would just not even like. I
wouldn't say I was terrified.
I wouldn't be scared of humans.
I felt a little uneasy.
Yeah. I would be like, it's one of those places. It's one of the few supernatural things that I kind of believe in that, like I don't ever think that I would be in this apartment and like, oh, there's a ghost in here suddenly. Like I've been here long enough that I don't think maybe you could take me somewhere and I'd be like, I just feel creeped out here. But over there, I would be like expecting to see something.
Well, the weirdest thing, because I don't know if I can describe it very well, but I was like, I came around the corner and then just saw these paintings. I was just like freaking out over them and taking a bunch of pictures and stuff. And then I'm just like kind of looking around, and I look around and like way across the canyon, so we're talking like the other side of the block here.
Mm-hmm.
I see like more of them, and they're just like, it's like the tops. There's like 3 bodies and heads like coming out of the bushes on this like the wall of this rock, and it was just like
unsettling.
Yeah. I took a video of it where you're like la 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 la, bam. I'll show it to you.
That's crazy. Yeah, I like that stuff. That's kind of what attracts me to like those like I think that like nature is cool and stuff, but once you add that layer of mysticalness, like that's what fucking Utah feels like that. And not because completely unrelated to my earlier reference to me being interested in Mormonism as like my Metatron and Mennonite conversation. That place, I've been there. It's strange as shit. It looks so weird. It's so different than any other place that I've ever been to. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. landscape is insane. That red mud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That red road made out of that red mud.
Yeah.
Like the whole highway is made, it's this other color. It makes it feel otherworldly, and that red with those greens from the and then the grays from drying up. It's just it's colors I've never seen. I've been to some beautiful places, and I feel like I'm like, like, I'm not like somebody that just lived, in a closet.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've seen some places that have blown me away, and like Utah is up there with like the nicest places I've seen in Europe.
Crazy.
Yeah. And it's just nature. It's not even like, it's not even because of any like, architectural marvels like the other places that I would consider beautiful.
Yeah.
But I've never been to Yellowstone, but I still think that what I've seen, I think that Utah is just really that special.
Well, and I was kind of going through like all these like, big national parks, and feeling like I should hit all those, but I didn't have the time. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna do this little I did one side quest to a Parowan Gap, see the petroglyphs there, and that was like a cool little detour. So it was something I don't know. Is a way for me to see some stuff without like going and like it's like I don't want to sit in line in my car. Well, to see more rocks, because that's to be like what you don't like
the Disney nature experience.
Yeah, well, I went down through Moab on the way home, and like you have to like reserve a spot to go into Arches National Park, and
that's actually literally where I went.
Yeah. I skipped it.
You skipped it? Oh wow, it's great. There
was some other really cool like these similar kind of painted like on some rocks like right on the highway.
Yeah,
just below it, like you could see them from the pool at the hotel.
Well, Arches is the darkest place I've ever been. Because I've been in Florida away from like the lights where it's really dark and you can't see in front of you, but you can still see the sky.
Oh, at night. Yeah.
This is in a canyon.
Oh.
So all the starlight that you would usually get was getting cut out, and there was only like this little window of like starlight getting in. So it was so black that I was sitting this far away from my friend and I couldn't see them at all. At all. It was intense. Huh. And you could look up. You couldn't even see you could see nothing. It was wild, like I've been in places where it's so dark you don't see the people in front of you, but you still have a context for the world around, because it was like in Florida where it was like flat, so I could see the sky, I could see the stars. It was so crazy to not be able to only see a sliver of that.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. It was wild. I was told I was very loud though.
What's that?
My friend told me I was very loud.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's just very dark.
You're annoying the rocks.
But okay, well, we've been going for like 55 minutes. I think we can start wrapping up, but I did want to turn back on some of that Instagram stuff that you were saying.
Yeah.
So like, cause I was like shocked. I knew you through Instagram, but I hadn't looked at your follower count. When I went to invite you, I was like, oh, wow. And you were saying something about how you did really good with Reels. So that's useful to people.
So this was, I don't know. I think when Reels were still kind of new, Instagram was trying to promote them for some reason. And then they like sent me an invite to monetize them. And
how many followers did you have at that time? Because I think you have to have already a lot.
I don't know.
I think you're like in the 10K already by then.
I probably did. Cause see, I went to, I told you it's too cold in Joshua Tree. For 1 year I went down to Mexico for the winter. I spent like 8 months down there, and it was a great setup because I rented a cool place. I was like renting my place in Joshua Tree for more than I was paying for this cool place down like in Puerto Vallarta, where I could like go down to the beach, and there was a ceramic studio where I was making stuff, and I was doing a bunch of watercolors. At the time I was making, sorry, I'm just rambling. I guess I had some spare time, so I was putting time into like making content, you know.
How were you making your reels? Was it like?
Well, this is like just before the reels. So I don't know. I think I spent a bunch of time on Instagram for a while then.
Do you have like a regular posting schedule?
Yeah, that kind of thing. I think maybe I took some online classes or at least one, you know, just kind of like it's like following some basic steps.
Did you do the Martha May one that some of the people out here in LA have done?
No.
Okay. I know a few people that have
I
done
don't
that.
remember. It was some chick whose artwork was terrible, but she had a bunch of followers. So she, you know, did like she had made an online class and so I don't remember like all the rules and stuff that I learned through that, but then when Reels kind of came along, it was just something I enjoyed doing, you know, and also like I think a lot of it's just being kind of thoughtful about it, doing the regular posting and posting in the morning and posting good photographs and it used to be more like you were supposed to curate your feed and like, you know, and so when you glance at it, they would all kind of they would work together.
Yeah. Now they've just changed the whole. I had so many people tell me that they only did 6x6, like they only did the square frames when I was like trying to promote the show, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I only do that." So then I switched to that, and now I think it's hilarious because everybody that was attached to that now has the vertical ones.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I was like, hey, I'm not saying that like I was annoyed that I had to accommodate, but I was like that was one of the quick way. Did that sound like someone knocked?
Yeah.
Was it? Is I don't think so. No one comes up here.
Nobody.
So it was one of those. It's just one of those things where I was like, no, I'm happy to conform to the like. I was like, you guys must know something. I wasn't like, oh, you suck for making. I was like, you guys must know something, and then like,
I think somebody's knocking.
Somebody
on
is
your door.
knocking.
Slam. First time for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just such a weird time to come too. Anyway, so yeah, so it's just that whole thing is like it's so funny to get. I have just gotten less attached to it, you know.
Yeah,
like when people were like. When people share stuff that doesn't conform, you know, when people collaborate with me on stuff that doesn't conform to the format, I'm like, thank you for collaborating with me. I don't even give a fuck how it looks, you know, like it's I feel like this term is in shitification.
Yeah, a lot of things are in shitify. I mean, it keeps getting worse and worse and weirder, and it's changing all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think a lot of this stuff is like, a lot of it is kind of being on top of the changes. It used to be like when they would have something new that if you were, you know, I read or heard and this seemed to work, if you embrace it, like, you know, as far as reels is like a lot of times, you know, or a lot of people were like, oh, I'm not going to make reels.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was kind of fun. Like you can make a whole, like, it was like making little music videos, especially when you can like pick the music and the placement and edit the whole thing. I mean, I haven't been doing that much anymore because like I said, so they were doing this thing where you would get paid for how many views you got. So that was like, I was super incentivized to.
Was it good?
For a time I was making about like $500 a month.
Holy shit.
That's like not a ton of money, but like
that's for a month.
Yeah. Plus I'm promoting myself at the same time.
500 times 12 is a lot of money.
Yeah. It didn't last that long. And then it kind of like, then it went down to like, quickly went down to like 150 for a while, and then there was just like, we're not doing this anymore. Okay, you're hooked now.
That's crazy.
So
yeah, that's one of the things that I find really annoying about like those things where it's like it used to be you could get promotion out of that doing that stuff, but now it feels like TikTok really like when I haven't done a TikTok for a while, the first one I come back is a banger. I mean, not like, you know, compared to the rest of my feed. And then I keep posting and then it just then it just goes back down to the average. And I'm like, and then it's always like, you could boost this, and I'm like, okay, bro. Or I don't feel like I'm that kind of a user. And then dude, the recently I just realized that Instagram is just Facebook now. It really is. It's just like all of the things that you didn't like about Facebook have been brought to Instagram. It made it entirely that shit, you know.
Plus stuff you didn't even know you didn't want.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and then there was that time that they were gonna make you compete with AI, which is like, oh yeah, I'm just I'm gonna understand the algorithm as well as AI can, you know. And now I'm competing with these people. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, but it sucks, but you know, there is a lot of good things about it. Like I do kind of meet people through it and make art connections that way. I mean,
I do too.
You know, so I don't, you know, I can't.
It is also the best place to have your friends disappoint you.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh God.
I know. I mean, and everybody keeps hoping something better will come along, but it hasn't yet. So
no. And and from what I've seen, Blue Sky is just the same cesspool that Twitter was. It's just like, it's just these algorithms kind of. I think that like everybody's mad at each other when they should really be mad at the algorithm. You know, like I think people are like, you said this that I don't like. It's like, why did it pop up in your feed? Why can't you stop it from popping up in your feed? If you don't want to see it, why is it there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm getting just like tons of animal videos because
you've worked really hard.
It. Yeah. Because I look at them.
Yeah.
A lot of Do you follow Bring a Trailer?
Yes. Which was your favorite recent car?
Oh my God, they've been killing me lately.
They had a Yugo recently.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
And it has the spare tire in the engine compartment because the engine is so small.
It's so fun. When I first moved to LA, I looked around and rented the cheapest car I could until I could find a used car to buy, and it was a Yugo with like no radio, no nothing, and it wasn't a convertible, but that. Yeah.
I didn't even know they made ones. So that was a Yugoslav car, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, and then Yugoslavia was dissolved in '92, I think. I remember when I was in Italy. I remember refugees from Yugoslavia coming to Italy and being at my school and shit. So I was like. It's so funny how all these, like, especially the European balkanizations, you know, and Eastern European stuff, like Americans are so, especially I think also because of the Cold War, but like with proximity, when I got to Italy, you couldn't drink fresh milk because of Chernobyl. But I think that was worldwide. I think, yeah, because so I grew up drinking Parmalat. And now I'm like, oh, that shit is so gross.
Parmalat?
It's like, it's milk that you can... Well, Parmalat makes all kinds of milk. It's the Italian brand. But there was like cupboard milk.
The box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah.
Although all milk freaks me out now.
Yeah.
I'm lactose intolerant though.
Oh.
Not as a judgment. I still love cheese.
Oh, well. Yeah. I live for cheese.
Well, cool. Anything that I haven't asked you about that you wanted to maybe talk about? Anything I asked you that you didn't get to? No worries if you don't. This is just my usual wrap up.
Yeah. I don't know. I could talk about all kinds of stuff, so who knows?
Well, like what?
Like what?
I'm just curious what all kinds of stuff popped into your head.
No.
Nothing.
I just that anytime someone says, well, is there anything else you want to add? I'm like jaw blank. So.
All right, cool. Well, where can people find you?
Yeah, Instagram. No.
Hey, I'm on Instagram, okay?
And I thought you just said that you deleted it.
I deleted it off of my phone so that I only use it on my computer. That way, it's a work thing and not a thing on my phone all the time.
Huh.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Because I just don't want to update myself on, like, everybody's art and like, you know, and
Yeah,
then
it
who's
is.
working with who and all of that stuff. It's just like, it's like none of this is really happening in my life. This is all happening far away. So I want to use it to see who's having a show that I want to go to. And then on a week-to-week basis, I could give a fuck what anyone has to say.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of an escape for me because, like I said, like the animal videos, just like
I do that on YouTube.
and like basically like bloopers, people just doing stupid shit. I don't know. It's like stuff, you know, just whatever that makes me laugh, and then it's just like so.
So what is your Instagram before we forget to actually?
It's just my name. It's Kelly Witmer, no H.
Yeah. I
Everybody
know.
puts an H in it for some reason.
There's a drive to do it. When I was putting you in my calendar, I was like, nope. I from the moment I put someone in the calendar, I make sure I'm not getting any typos in.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So that nothing corrupts the system.
Yeah. People always spell my name wrong.
Especially since I just was on Instagram talking to you and I can just go and look at what your actual fucking name is.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, cool. And then your website or anything like that?
It's also my name.
Do you make sales off of Instagram?
I'm like trying to think if I ever have. I mean, like there's.
Are you a gallery representation artist, or are you more of an artist that has a day job and loves having a practice?
Yeah,
both are valid.
Yeah, we've just kind of rambled for a long time, and I didn't even talk about any of this stuff.
That's okay.
But basically, I used to sell my stuff direct. Like I had like a shop on my website, and I just kind of, and I really wanted to show in galleries, but I felt like that was kind of stopping me. That galleries probably didn't want to deal with me if I was selling the work directly. So it's kind of an experiment of sorts. I was like, okay, I'm just going to take the shop down. Then I'm like, you know, furthermore, I'm not even going to try to sell my stuff just for a while and see how it goes. And I'm just going to make what I want. Because it was just really getting to like, you know, some of the back and forth I would have with, you know, people would find me on Instagram could you do this? Could you make it in this color? And I just, strange stuff. Like, I don't
people
wanna,
treating your work like it's decorative stuff for them to accessorize their house.
Yeah.
Like tchotchkes as opposed to art.
Which it was, you know, I'm not going to be like, you know, and especially if someone's telling you what they want, and then it really wouldn't, you know, it just didn't have any heart in it. So I just like, I stopped selling stuff but then I've actually still done okay. I still get some commissions. And last year I had a museum show, which I got, honorarium for that, and, did a thing at the airport, you know, so like I'm still like, I used to sell like I said, when I was living in Mexico, I was making tons of these abstract watercolors. I would scan them and upload them to different companies where I would sell, you know, for licensing. So they're like in hotels. Anthropology sells prints of my stuff. I think they still do. I still get, you know, so basically, and I was like I made some classes on Skillshare.
Okay.
Like
How was that? Was that at all profitable?
For a while, that was it, you know, so I had all these different things like making me income.
Yeah.
So, and I told you when I came in, I used to, rent my place on Airbnb, and so that was kind of income, you know. I'm always just kind of hustling. So I haven't had a job in years. I used to have like vintage clothing stores for several years. That was a while ago. I had some of my friends. I was partners.
That explains your low-rise jeans that you're wearing today.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
joking. I'm just talking vintage.
Okay, yeah.
People that aren't watching, which is how most people don't know that I was making that up.
Okay. I'm like, these aren't jeans, but okay.
They're definitely not low-rise.
Yeah.
They're, what's it called?
They're just
capris, no?
They're just pants.
Isn't that a capri when it's like
sure.
when your ankle is showing?
Yeah.
Showing a little ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah. These new modern women. Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for making the trek out here. That's a long trek. And then if you guys enjoyed this conversation, like and subscribe. And if you only listen, help us get monetized and go to YouTube and subscribe anyway. Who knows? You might end up watching an episode and enjoy watching it. And then we got the Patreon. Thank you to all our patrons. I'll make a list next time so that I can shout them out. I forgot to do it this time because there's like 6 now and I don't want to forget anybody. But if you would like to get early access episodes and get a shout out on our Patreon scroll, you can go to patreon.com/whatsmythesis. And yeah, we'll be back next week with another guest and another topic that may or may not be art related. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Sure. Thanks for having me.